and the senses are going on by His grace alone. If you realize this, then you have earned His grace. But we are not conscious of this. We take it that by our own will and power we are seeing, hearing, talking, and acting. In fact, we are doing all this by His grace and power only. It is said that even a leaf does not move by but by His grace. His power pervades everywhere. By His power alone, everything happens in the world. To realize this fact is to earn His grace. The moment we know that by His will alone everything happens, and that we are mere puppets dancing and acting as He wills, then we have received His grace and have surrendered ourselves to Him. As Sri Ramakrishna says, the breeze of grace is always blowing on you. You have to open the sails and your boat will move forward. This means that you have only to be awakened to the existence of grace. It is not that grace has come to you from anywhere. The sun shines brightly, but a man closes his eyes and says, there is no light. For him, there can be no light as long as he chooses to shut his eyes. Divine grace is ever on us, but we are only unaware of it. If a particle of dust enters your eye, you feel a sort of irritation and you are much disturbed and restless on that account. You ask somebody to remove the dust, and when it is done, you feel quite happy. Is this a happiness that you have newly acquired? It was there even before. It was temporarily lost because of the irritation of your eye. And now that the irritation is gone, the original happiness is restored. You have only regained what you had lost. You are always a supreme self whose nature is absolute peace and bliss. But for the time being, you seem to be covered over by a veil of ignorance which makes you think you are not that self. When the veil is removed, you will realize your true nature, immortal bliss and peace. So, grace is and will be ever pouring on you, but you are unaware of it. The moment you become aware by the contact of saints, you realize that grace has ever been pouring on you, that you are not the body, but God Himself. Question: does not God's grace weaken self effort and go against law of karma? Ramdas. If you understand God's grace as Ramdas has just explained, then you will know that it not only weakens self-effort, but it altogether eliminates self-effort in the sense of egoistic actions. You do all actions by the will of God and realize that you are only an instrument in His hands. You will then declare that you are doing everything by His will and power. This does not mean that you cease from doing things. As an instrument of God, divine energy flows through you as actions spontaneously done without being hampered or vitiated by ahankar or egoism. Your actions will now be divine actions because you are conscious that the supreme, all pervading, eternal Shakti is working in and through you. These actions will be saturated with pure, selfless love. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Peace prayer. Adorable presence, thou who art within and without, above and below and all around, thou who art interpenetrating the very cells of our beings, thou who art the eye of our eyes, the ear of our ears, the heart of our hearts, the mind of our minds, the breath of our breaths, the life of our lives, and the soul of our souls. Bless us, dear God, to be aware of Thy presence now and here. This is all that we ask of Thee. May all of us be aware of Thy presence in the east and the west, in the north and the south. May peace and goodwill abide among individuals as well as communities and nations. This is our earnest prayer. May peace be unto all. Om Tat Sat Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Guru Charan Saroj Jaman Mukhur Sudari Baranau Raghupar Bimal Jasu Jodayak Palachari Sitara Buddhihin Janjaniki Sumirav Pavana Kumar Sita Bala Buddhi Vidya Deh Muhi Arav Kali Sabigar Sita Jai Hanuman Jnana Guna Sar Jai Kavi Sadi Yoga Ujjar राम दूत अतुलित बल धाम अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेस गानन कुंडल कुंजित केस पादभद्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांति मूंज साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे रघुचरित सुनिबे को रसी राम लखन सीता मन बसिय सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंह दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारी काज संवारी लाय सजीवन लखन जियाई श्री रघुवीर शिवर लाई रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय बरदहि समभाई सहस बदन तुम रोज सखावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंदल कावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि जम कुबेर दिख बाल जहामते कवि कोविद कहि सहे कहामते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ममिलाय राजपद दीना तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना दुख सहस्र जो जन बर बानु लील्यो दाहि मधुर बल जानु प्रभु मंत्रिका मेलि मुख मार जलधि लांग तुमरे ते दे राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे हम आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुखल है तुम्हारी शरण तुम रक्षह काहू आपन तेज समारो माप दीनों लोक हांकते कावे बोध पिसास निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जप नाम सुनावे नासई रोग हरई सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट दे हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो आवे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा दिन के काज सगल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों युग बरदाव तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध उजियारा साधु संत के मरकवारी असुर निकंदन राम दीनवनिधि के धाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त का और देवदास धन धरई हनुमत से सर्प सुख करई संकट कड़ई मिड़ई सब वीरा जो सुमिरई हनुमत भल वीरा जय 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 हनुमान कुसाई कृपा कर गुरुदेव की नाई जो सद बार बाट कर कोई महासुख हो जो है पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा हो हरिचेरा की जय नाद हृदय पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप सीताराम लखन सीता सहित सीताराम हृदय बस सुरभूप सीताराम हृदय बस सुरभूप सीताराम